So today we're going to have a look at adding and subtracting decimals using an algorithm. So you might have seen this being called chimney sums or upstairs downstairs sums. You should have a look at our videos for adding and subtracting whole numbers using this method first, if you've not already looked at that. Okay, so the idea is basically when you're adding and subtracting whole numbers, you need to make sure your units are lined up to the right. When we are using decimal numbers, you might have different numbers of decimal points, so they won't all line up exactly to the right. You need to make sure you're lining up your decimal points. Oops. Okay, I'm going to put my decimal points in first and fit the number in around it. So I've got 13.5 and 12.6. Now this does line up exactly to the right, but it doesn't have to. Okay, so I've got 13.5 and 12.6. And then basically it's the exact same. I'm going to have a decimal point in my answer as well. It's the exact same as the method for whole numbers. So I'm adding 5 tenths, add 6 tenths. I'm getting 11 tenths. So that's like one whole unit and then 1 tenth. Okay, you might want to have a look at our place value for decimal video as well. And now my units column, I've got 3 add 2 is 5, add on that 1 is 6. And in my tens column, I've got 10 add 10, 110 add 110 is 2 tenths. So 26.1, that's my final answer. Okay, and you'll see in the next one what I mean about things not always lining up. Okay, so here I've got, I'll just write in one number, 350.97. Now I like taking a whole box for that decimal point as well, just to make sure you've really got that lined up. And then here I've got 3.398. Now, the numbers don't line up at the left and they don't line up at the right, but that's absolutely fine. Okay, don't worry about that at all. I'm just going to have a big lump sum. Okay, when I've got like nothing here, this is my thousandths column. And it's like I've got 0 thousandths there. I can just put a 0 in. So I've got 0 add 8 is 8. 7 add 9 is 16. 9 add 3, that's 12, add on 1 is 13, and just make sure you're not putting that 1 in the decimal column there. And put that decimal there first. This column's out of bounds. Okay, in my units I've got 0 add 3 is 3, add on 1 makes 4. And here when I've got these blanks, it's like I've got zeros in these boxes too. Okay, so I've got 5 tenths and 300. Okay, and that's my answer there, 354.368. Okay, and it's the same for subtraction, exactly the same method as we had for whole numbers. We've just got a decimal place in there now. Okay, so putting that first number in, I've got 5.972, okay, and I'm taking away 3.76. Decimal points must be in a line. And again, I've got this blank here, that's fine. So 2 take away 0 is 2, 7 take away 6 is 1, 9 take away 7 is 2, 5 take away 3 is 2, and this has been nice, you know, no borrowing, nothing to make things tricky. Okay, the next one's a little bit trickier. Okay, and something you might see here is that, oh, this first number, that doesn't have a decimal point in, okay, but I'm just going to write that, okay, for now I'm going to write it 7.0, 7 and 0 tenths. Okay, and I'm taking away 2.63. So I'm actually going to put another 0 in there. So I'm filling up, I'm making sure, oh, I get a lining, something lining up to the right. Okay, and now 0, this is 0 hundredths. I can't take away 3 hundredths from 0 hundredths. Okay, so I'm going to need to borrow, and I'm going to need to borrow all the way from this 7. Okay, so I'm going to borrow a unit from the 7 and turn that into 10 tenths. And then I'm going to borrow a tenth from that tenths column, those 10 tenths, and turn that into 10 hundredths. Okay, so now I've got 10 hundredths, take away 3 hundredths, that's 7 hundredths. 9 tenths take away 6 tenths is 3 tenths. Pop my decimal point in. And 6 take away 2 is 4. Exactly the same method as for whole numbers. I've just got this kind of forbidden column here with all my decimal points in a nice neat line. Okay, 4.37, my final answer there.